In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the coolant fan on this Dodge Dart. Let's get into it. Underneath, there's screws holding this in. Use a Phillips head screwdriver. You may have 8mm screws holding this in. Just like this one, this is a 8mm socket I'm going to use to take this one out. That's all loose. Back here, I'm using a 10mm socket. Take these bolts out. Should be one there. Use an 8mm socket, take this screw out. And right here. And the same on the other side. And slide this down, and it slides right out. Underneath, we're gonna take this shield down, use a 10mm socket, take these bolts down. There should be some over there. And it slides right down. On the left side of where the radiator is, we're going to use a hose. You don't have to use a hose, but I just want to run the coolant so it doesn't go into the frame. Carefully with some pliers, I'm just going to loosen that valve up. You want to make sure you do this when the engine is cold, not when it's hot. There we go. And I'm going to drain that coolant into a bucket. To help it go a little quicker, I'll just remove the cap. And now the coolant's drained out. I'm just going to close this valve just very carefully. Should be able to do it by hand, but if not, just carefully use pliers. It's closed. And take the hose down. I'm going to use a trim tool. We're going to disconnect the wires. You have some retainers underneath here. Just pop those retainers out. Just like that. There's another retainer up high. Pop that one off. Disconnect the connector right here, just push down on the tab, slide that back. That's good. Using a 8mm socket, take this bolt out. Take the O2 sensor wires out of the brackets right here. Slide those out. Using an 8mm socket, take this bolt out. I'm going to take this upper radiator hose off. I'm just going to use a pick. Just stretch out this clamp right here. It's a good idea to replace this. And just pop this off. There we go. Slide that off, set that aside. I'll grab the fan and just slide it up. It comes right out. I'll slide this in. Just get it past the hoses. Get that lined up. And get the bolt in. Get that started. Yeah, I'll take the other top bolt, get that started. It's right there. And we'll just tighten those two top bolts down. Snug those down. I'm going to take the hose clamp off the hose. We're just going to use a worm clamp. Slide the clamp over. Put the hose back on the radiator. And tighten the hose clamp down. Make sure it's snug. That moves. We'll make sure it doesn't move. That's good. We're going to transfer these clips over. I'm just going to use a trim tool. Just pop these up. Just like that. And I'll just slide these over the O2 sensor wires first. Just like that. And clip them onto the fan shroud. Just like that. I'll take the wiring harness, re-secure it. Take the plug, line that up, and lock it down. Take this shield, we'll line it up. Take the bolts, get those started. Now tighten those down. Slide this in place. I'm going to slide the top or the front in first. Get that to line up. These two back bolts, get those started. Tighten these down. Same on the other side. Put these bolts in. Get those all started. And before we tighten those up, get these screws in up front. Tighten them down. Two on the side as well. And there you go. Take the cap off the coolant reservoir. You want to add the appropriate coolant. Fill that up to the full line. And then you want to run the vehicle for about 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure it warms up and make sure it doesn't overheat. Shut the vehicle down, let it cool, and then adjust accordingly. Screw the cap on, lock it down.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.